Hey guys, this is Imp from Black Talon Gaming, once again coming at you with another Fallout 4 build. Once again, I'm just reviewing some settlements from this save, and just gonna show you stuff I've been working on. If we take a look, I've shown you this settlement before, and there's really not too much to say about it. I'm gonna go over the barracks facility again. I use this mostly as just farming. There's a lot of land here, but I don't really utilize it. Like, I'm definitely nowhere near the limit. I use it for farming and for water. I prefer my main areas, even my main crafting areas over here as opposed to over here. Um, I like to be centrally located on the map because it's easier to get to in survival mode. And I honestly, I'm kind of hardly here. I got beyond the borders recently, and there's one settlement behind here. If we take a look at the map, I'll show you. So I've got Sanctuary Hot Springs, and I've got New Hope. New Hope is failing completely. Like, there's something wrong with the scripts there. I played New Hope before, so that's not a comment on the mod author. It works. It's just my load order. Somehow it's corrupted. I don't want to delete it. I don't want to deal with it, so I'm just leaving it as it is. But I've got Beyond the Borders, and so in addition to Sanctuary Hot Springs and New Hope and Sanctuary itself, I've got a small campment right here. Yeah, survivalist campsite. And that's a constructible area, but not a settlement. And I use that to place some extra defenses behind the main farms, and as well as a power armor station. So I kind of launch expeditions from there. One of the cool things we're going to take a look at right now is, you know what, we're not going to talk about it too much because there's another video going to talk about it, but I'm using the sandbags mod, and you can see here I've got a really good defensive post on the other side of the building over here. And you can kind of see it, but that's Sanctuary Hot Springs, way past it, that big concrete structure over there. I use Sanctuary Hot Springs just for additional food and water. In previous playthroughs, I've tried to treat this all as like one big city or whatnot, and I still kind of tend to, but I definitely use this island and this whole area just for food production that feeds my other settlements. Alright, let's go ahead and take a closer look. We're just pretty much going to go over the barracks because everything else is kind of lame and stupid. I guess a quick word on what else I've got. I've got some stores in some of these houses. Blah, blah, blah. I walled off 3 of the houses back here, so there's a kind of a little redoubt of protection. And most of the settlers and everything, most of the beds and water resources, well, not water resources, but most of the beds and storage and stuff like that are over here. There's a few crafting stations over here, but not as many as I've got in Red Rocket. This is a power facility. Once again, I need lots of power to man the industrial water purifiers. So we've got a really decent power network through here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the barracks. Alright, the first floor. Salvage station. Pretty easy stuff. And these are for the salvage beacons. And then, of course, some traditional salvage stations back here. I swear I can read. I swear I can talk. Alright, let's see. It's kind of cold. And so here we have a common room for the soldiers that are stationed here at the barracks. There's a couch, a Nuka fridge full of Nuka Cola and water. Now, it like literally is full of it. Yeah, see? They don't drink it, so I don't know why the fuck I put it there. It's literally just set dressing. And then they have a little bar area here, so they have a barrel full of Gwinnett beer and stuff. They have a cigarette machine full of cigarettes. And, they come here to drink. They don't actually stay around here because I have an actual bar on the other side, but, once again, set dressing. We have some hot chicks on the walls, thanks to Better Stores mod. I forget the mod author's name. I'll try to link it later. This is where the armor for this settlement set its up shop. I can't access this one because this is one of those busy settlers workstations. So that's what that is. This is just an empty room with a light. I don't know what the fuck I was going to do with that. This is a clothing and armor storage space. No big deal. If I have to, what I tend to do is I tend to I literally do equip all my guys with, relevant gear. I try to make them as good and useful as possible. So, for example, if I look at this guy, owned by robots. Yeah, I know. All right, so if I look at this guy, he's got a helmet and he's got leather armor. Some of them are much better equipped, but he's also got a glow-sighted hunting rifle, ammunition, everything he needs, so that if I'm actually here and I get attacked by a big old tank bot or whatever, these guys can actually be useful instead of shooting like 1 point of damage. And what I tend to do is when I find a new place, from this or one other settlement, and you'll see it later on in another video, Rocky Narrows Park, which is a settlement in my game. I'll literally just reassign the settlers and move them there, and they've already got all their gear and everything. So you can think of this as just a initial place for them to get equipped. Rocky Narrows Park, and I'll show you that in another video, is actually in my game, in the canon of my head canon of my game, is actually the basic training facility for the Minuteman. So we'll take a look at that. Now these guys here wear uniforms that are different. They just wear like gunners and military uniforms and stuff like that. A lot of the settlement defenders, if they're not specifically Minutemen settlements or whatever, I'll just dress them in that. Because I try to save Minutemen uniforms so that I can have... it's kind of hard for me to come across Minutemen uniforms in a survival playthrough sometimes. Not all the time, but I'd like to have a settlement that's just Minutemen and a settlement that's just military fatigues, etc., etc. So I like to play dress up, apparently. Alright, so this is the top story of the barracks. Bottom floor, mudroom. Nothing important here. If you're not familiar, mudroom is just literally a place to kick off the mud when you come in the door. There's a weights, stuff like that, Busy Settlers. That's from the Busy Settlers mod or whatever it's called. Once again, standard barracks, weapons on the wall, and these are, when I get a new settler and I need to equip him, I grab a weapon off the wall here and some clothes from the bottom chamber, and I equip him. It's too easy, too easy. Topmost barracks is for, I guess, the officers or the non-commissioned officers in charge of this settlement's defense. Then back here, it's kind of I don't know what I was smoking when I came up with this design, but there's just 2 long hallways that lead to this, and they can go back down, they can get underneath cover and come out, or they can walk straight across if they want. No big deal. Yeah, and from up here we have a good view of the rest of the settlement, so I'm just going to stand up here and tell you a little bit about the things that I've got going on. Once again, this is the Sandbags Fortification mod. I'll tell you a little bit more about that when I do the Rocky Narrow Parks build, and because that one has a lot more extensive stuff and it looks a lot cooler. Actually looks like a forward operating base. That one's just there because I needed something there. Water tower from Passive Water Resources, and the water tower is supposedly increasing the output of my crops and everything like that, and I will be honest, I think it is doing it, because I used to get maybe 10 mute fruit a day or 20 mute fruit a day, and now I'm getting 40 or 15 mute fruit a day, so it's gone crazy, and it is working. This was a facility that is like a little theater. I used to, on this save at least, I used to have these mods that would have those old-timey radio shows, and I'd set one up, and my idea was I was gonna tape a radio show or whatever and show it to you guys, but that fell apart. Honestly, it just kind of seemed boring, so I was like, what the fuck ever. Yeah, there's some initial defenses down here that I covered when I talked about defense in depth. I did that on a video about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my Sanctuary build. Like I said, there's not much to this one compared to my old survival playthrough. I had a lot more going on. I had a mechanized facility there. I do have a mechanized facility in this game. It's still under construction, but it's down near Grey Garden, because you need that kind of stuff a lot more central, really, especially on a survival playthrough, because if I'm down and doing shit in Diamond City or the Glowing Sea, I can't be running all the way back up here just to, do stuff or whatever. So I try to make a lot of stuff centrally located. Um, try to make a lot of secondary command centers where I can chill and do whatever. Anyhow, that's it for my Sanctuary build. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm not really going to show you my Hot Springs or New Hope build because, once again, those two areas are broken. Yeah, we'll take a look at some of the other stuff maybe a little bit later on. But thanks for watching, and as always, remember to stay awesome.